everyone. I am coming to update you on the largest crochet order that I have ever had. My dog has just entered. I am wanting to make an update, I think a weekly update for you guys, but really it's more for me because it is a very large order and I need to keep myself motivated through it. I also figured it was like a good opportunity to start getting into some regular YouTube once again, because I've had a lot of life developments that have kind of kept me off of YouTube for a little while. So I definitely want to let you guys know what happened there. It's definitely impactful if you're a crochet artist and you're looking for inspiration or influence. I'm really excited about the fact that I'm going to be getting to do a lot more crochet. So without giving too much away on that, moving into the crochet commission. So if you follow any of my videos, you know that I do a fair amount of commissions for my largest client. It's the Rhode Island Wildlife Rehab Clinic, and they have done several really successful campaigns for and events, I should say, for selling realistic looking creatures that I make for them that people adopt in lieu of, you know, adopting a real animal. They adopt their figurative animal and it's really cute. They did a Valentine's Day campaign where you adopted the animal. They did a baby shower in April, and everybody bought a bunch of items at a booth they ran with my stuff in it. And now they keep some of my stuff in their store. All of those have been separate orders. They have had a lot of success with what they're doing. For me, it's cool because it's, number one, a cause that I care about, and number two, it's something slightly different from what I do with my traditional plushies that I sell at my markets and stuff, which are very cutesy, very kawaii, however we say that. So theirs are a little more realistic looking. Here they are. So I really enjoyed like kind of finding new patterns for that and doing the items for them. However, this is the largest order that they've placed. So they have an event in September. It is a community charity golf tournament. And apparently a member of their board of directors is very into crochet, and she saw my stuff and she wanted crochet golf covers for their gift that they give the golfers. So that's great. Turns out there's going to be 140 gifts. So I've got 2 months to make 140 crochet golf covers. So the process for figuring that out went okay. I had a few different ideas in mind, but including like I thought I might attach a plushie on the top of like a sleeve that you put over the golf club, that type of thing. I didn't really end up liking the way that looked. So I found this book by Linda Wright. It's Golf Club Amigurumi Golf Club covers. And she has a few patterns in here that I ended up either using or modifying. So in the end, I brought 4 samples to the wildlife clinic for them to choose. And they ended up going with 3 of them. I honestly didn't expect them to go with the 4th. I'll show you him. He's a duck. He looks a little funky, but I actually think I know how to fix him now. But either way, I'm on the fence about whether or not I'll fix him and I'll make that a 4th offering. But as you can see behind me, here are 2 of the animals that I went with out of the golf club covers. So first is an owl, and to be honest with you, I don't think any of these are really cute. They are not my traditional style. They're not what I do, but I should say they're not what I do full time, but they're crochet, so I do them. But so this is the owl, which is great because the wildlife clinic's mascot is actually a little baby owl. They have it. It lives in like the lobby of where they are, and apparently he's just wreaking havoc all over the place because he's still a baby, and I guess his little tufts are starting to come in, they told me. But anyway, so this is the owl that I went with. And they ultimately ended up picking the owl, and I made it a condition for the order that they order more than 1 item and that I'm allowed to work in more than 1 color, because 140 of the exact same item, I don't think I could do it. I think I would lose my mind. So they went with that one. And then this was the raccoon golf club cover that I ended up coming up with. It's actually a slight modification of the pattern in the book, which I'll show you the patterns so that you can get an idea of how close mine turned out to what theirs were, or what Linda's pattern was. But so this is the raccoon. I actually think he's pretty cute. And then the last one of the 3 that they have ordered is an eagle. And he looks like this. So I'm like wondering about the popularity of him, because I guess it's a golf term to have an eagle. I don't know what it is, but it's what they got. Luckily, I had these old golf clubs that I did use for a little while, like one summer, and then I didn't use again. Luckily, my mom got them for $10 at a yard sale, and spoiler, I found $180 in the pocket. So never turn down a yard sale. You never know what you're gonna find, and you might get a return on your golf clubs. So that happened. So this is the eagle, and so he's the 3rd one that they're gonna do. And then I'll show you the one that didn't make it, and you'll see very clearly why he didn't make it. They definitely like a realistic looking aesthetic. So this is our duck. He is not very realistic looking. But that's okay. So he's just cute and hanging around, and I don't know, maybe I'll torture my dad with him. But I actually think I might know how to fix him. I might put like the hoods over the eyes like the eagle has, and then shorten the beak and give him black eyes. I honestly think that might give him a little bit more of a realistic feel, but I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of funny, like all their heads kind of get a weird shape because of how you put them on the golf club cover. So whatever. At the end of the day, they like them. They met, the requirement that they wanted, and it is going to be, so I didn't really have a ton of, I could say yes or I could say no in the price point, but I had a guide point that he gave me, which was $26 a unit. And this realistically is not a $26 price point. I mean, this one maybe because he's goofy, but these are a lot of work. They're at least 2 hours to do. I've gotten a little faster with them as I've made them, but they're about 2 hours and they're a lot of work. So a couple, at the same time, I wasn't going to turn down the job. Number one, it's for a nonprofit. It's for a nonprofit that I care about. So if a little bit of time is being donated, no big deal. At the end of the day, I'm still getting over $3,600 in sales. So I'm happy about that. I knew their price point. They're a nonprofit, so they're always upfront about that. And I've got an $1,800 deposit coming in, which is great for lots of different reasons. See my other update video for why that matters so much. So anyway, so this is, like I said, this was the book. And so you can see the owl on the front. And he came out, I think, pretty close. A couple of things that she does that I didn't do. She doubles the yarn on her heads. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that because it's not cost effective. It's going to be harder for me to crochet that efficiently. And honestly, you get the same look out of it. On top of that, I put a liner in the underneath, so it gives it more shape anyway. So this is the owl. He definitely came out pretty on point, I think, for comparison. This is him, just in a slightly different color. I got to figure out how to make his tufts maybe come up a little bit more. I haven't figured that out yet. So that's the owl. He's pretty cute. I don't know if I should name him or what. And then he's a total of 4 add-on pieces to the main crochet piece. The beak, 2 eyes, and the little triangle thing with the tufts is all one unit. This is the bald eagle. So I think mine came out pretty close. I think the same thing. The shaping is a tiny bit off, and that's honestly probably just from the picture. But overall, the aesthetic pretty much matches what was in here. Same thing, she doubled the yarn. I didn't do that. He is also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 6 pieces because you crochet this upper beak separately than the bottom beak. And then he has 2 eye blacks and the 2 eye hoods. So that is the eagle. And then the last one, this is her duck. So my duck looks like her duck, but neither of them look very realistic. They're a little more amigurumi style, which is fine. I'll either figure it out, and if I get really bored with the rest of the order and want to switch it up, or I'll just let them go. And so the last one was the raccoon. So my raccoon looks different than her raccoon. Her raccoon is a little bit more cartoony. Definitely a little more amigurumi style. Totally cute, but not what I ended up with. I feel like mine definitely came out with a more realistic vibe, which I got by really just adding triangle attachment to a circle. So that's what I did for him. I'll be honest, when I made the samples, I kind of made it work for the time. And so I'll have to come up with a cleaner way to do this as I'm creating the pattern, because I don't think, what I did was I put the circles on first, and then I was like, I don't really like the way that looks. And so then I crocheted on, you know, a triangle. And so I'll probably try to do that as all one unit when I'm doing it. So things that I'm doing to save time and save money and save sanity, I am doing a lot more hot glue, which I think will honestly be fine. It's not like hot gluing on my regular amigurumi, which I don't like because sometimes it interrupts the cuddle feel to it. For this, they're flat pieces going on top. It really doesn't seem to be a big deal. I glued this on. I can't feel the glue, and I think it'll be durable enough for its purpose. I forgot to mention, but he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 additional pieces on top of the head. So what I've been doing for week 1 is I'm creating all the heads that I can, because I feel like what's driving me or going to eventually hit me is just being overwhelmed by how much stuff there is to the order. And I'm trying to avoid that by just doing it before it gets to the point of overwhelming. I only have 8 weeks to do this entire order. I did the math. If I make 3 full amigurumi a day of the golf club covers, I would be able to make the order time. Right now I am at 41, including the 3 finished. So I'm actually about a third of a way through the order, and I'm only 1 week in. So that's a lie. I have made 38 of the heads and a couple of the attachment pieces, the bigger pieces for the attachment pieces, and I have the 3 finished. So I'm not at 3 finished per day, but I am over 3 a day for the head production, and I still feel like I'm going to be okay. I feel like I'm going to be on time. I'm trying to like kind of methodically go through it, but like I said, I'm trying to use the momentum I have while I have it. I also really want to finish these up sooner rather than later, because I just signed up for a lot of craft fairs in September that are like 2-day markets, and I know we're going to be huge, and honestly, I'm not positive I have enough inventory to do them, and I realized that after I signed up for them. So I'm going to need to make inventory, and I want to do that. I also have, for some reason, I have a bunch of commissions that have come in. So I have like 5 other commissions that I have to do over the next month or so. So I'm a little bit tasked out right now, but it'll be okay. So getting back to this. So what I've been doing is piece producing the heads and like the major item that goes with the animal's head. So like I said, I conditioned the order on more than one animal, and also being allowed to like change up the colors a little bit because I didn't want to get too bored. So these are the owl colors that I settled on. I feel like all of them are good solid owl colors. I also honestly picked them because I had stash yarn. So this I bought for like $1 at a clearance, and I wanted to be able to use it because I haven't had any purpose. So I'm pretty excited because I'm kind of cutting down some costs in that way. So what I've done for the owls is I created the head, which takes me about 35 to 40 minutes. And then the triangle piece that goes on top, that I have, that takes me about 12 minutes to do per head. So these are the main items. I mean, I'll pop out the eyes and the beaks as probably after this. I've honestly been focusing on the owls just because that was the color yarn I had in front of me. I've also been really trying to just buy the yarn I need specifically for the project so I don't run up on my costs or have an excess of yarn, which would be ridiculous because I'm trying to get rid of the yarn. Right now, just so you know, Michaels has a 30% off sale. I'm pretty sure it's for the month of July. So it's 30% off your entire order. So I've been using that. I've been getting loops and thread acrylic. It's like $2.79 for a skein of that. So that's been a really good price point. So far, I've only spent like $50. And I probably had maybe another $20 tops in yarn that I had on hand. And then the eyes, I'm in the process of trying to find eyes with flat backs because I bought these are regular safety eyes. They're from Hobby Lobby because and they have this like the nice yellow on the outside, which I feel like is really good for the owls and the eagles. But I have to cut off the back of the safety eye and then hot glue it on because I don't want the post to scratch up the golf club. So I want to buy just flat backed ones. These are 15mm ones. If anyone has any suggestions at all, I've been kind of browsing Amazon lately, but it's pretty much the last step. One other thing about the things as I was kind of going through the sample process, I was actually trying to use a nylon and cotton yarn. I felt like that would help hold up really well outside, but one thing they knew that wasn't going to be realistic for me to do was the sleeves crocheted by hand. So I actually made the sleeves with my Addy, with my 22 prong Addy, the smaller one. That's good. I can whip them out in about 15 to 20 minutes for the sleeves, which is good since there's 140, and then I crochet the top and I decrease it down and I add a little border when I crochet them together to give them a little floof. So that's what I've been doing. But the nylon yarn, you can see here, this is my sample. So, I mean, it was fine that it wasn't perfect, but you can see every time that I missed a loop. And you kind of can't avoid it. This yarn was thicker. It was tougher to catch the issues that were going on with it. So I'm not going to use the nylon yarn. I am using acrylic. I actually really liked, and this was part of the stash busting that I did. So this gray yarn that I did the raccoons in, and I'm doing the raccoons and their ears, jumping here. I'm doing the eagles and their eye hoods, and I showed you the owl already. But so for the raccoons, I actually found had a clearance Forever Plush from Hobby Lobby in pewter, and I don't think they make it anymore, which stinks because I feel like it created the best sleeve. You couldn't see any of the imperfections in it. It has a nice stretch to it, which is good when you're trying to put it over the top of the golf club head. This is on an iron right now. And I went to Hobby Lobby to try to find it in all the colors, and they did not have it. And then I looked online, and they didn't have it. So if you know this yarn, and if you know of a comparable one, I'm not doing the sleeves until after I finish all the heads. So feel free to drop a comment if you have a suggestion. So I think that's pretty much it. Important things if you are new to commissions and things like that, do a deposit. It's a hard conversation to have. I think the easiest way to have it is I put it right on my order form, which I promised to show my order form a while ago and I didn't, but this is my order form. I created it myself. I kind of looked online and saw what some different people had. My printer ink ran out for this one, so normally he's pink. But, so the order form, I just put, you know, order number for my own purposes, their name, a delivery date, the deposit that's due, and then item, color and specifics, quantity, price, and the total. And so at the end, what I put are my little tidbits of information that you need to know. 50% deposit is the first thing. It's non-refundable. It's due within a week. For this order, that was $1,800. Not bad. I'm definitely, you know, the money on this is going towards the labor, not the yarn necessarily. Acrylic's much less expensive, which is nice. And I always shop a deal and I love a good discount. So I'm out there kind of doing that on the acrylic, which is nice. It's keeping my price point low because the labor cost is high and we're not getting the money for it that it's really worth, but that's okay. I also do a safety eye disclaimer here. I do an acknowledgement by the customer that my items are going to have small variations amongst them. If I'm making multiples of an item, I'm not perfect, neither is handmade, and kind of that's the beauty of it. You're going to get something new and different each time. But generally they'll all be of the same quality and, you know, they will really not have any defects to them. So I do that and I tell them that I'm going to include care instructions for each item that they order and that we'll agree upon delivery date and location, and shipping is at the cost of the customer. So that's how I do my order form. I have my order form with Bill. For this, I'm doing 47 owls, 47 raccoons, and 46 eagles to get to the 140 item mark. So that's it. That's my update. That's my week 1 update. And, you know, I appreciate you all being here because I think I'm going to need a lot of help and motivation. Honestly, I'm doing okay right now, but if I think about the sheer volume of it, I get really overwhelmed and I start to get a little panicky. And so what I've been doing is just kind of being like, you need to make these next 5 heads and you need to make these next 5 items. And that's kind of been what I've been doing and keeping myself honest with, you made your timeline, you know the facts, you know that if you do this, you will be able to do it on time. So just do what you're supposed to do. And that's kind of how I'm getting myself through it. But I appreciate, you know, you all joining me and being able to give me some accountability, as well as feel free to drop feedback or encouragement because it's gonna be a long road. But I will try check in again next week and let you guys know. But for week 1, the update is 38 heads, 28 owls, 8 eagles, and 2 raccoons. So check back next week and we'll see how far we got. Bye. Thanks.